We don't want no broke niggas. We want men's that have a crib and they have a car and they have a job. Or at least that's what we tell ourselves on the apps. Yet all of us are still single, trying to find us a man and make it work. I'm thinking we might be doing the whole process of dating wrong. So tonight I'm talking to a good friend of mine. He just celebrated his second wedding anniversary and he and his husband are happy, they are thriving, and so obviously he must have dated well. No, his husband is not, nor has he ever been, a broke nigga. But the big question I want to answer is, does income or any of the arbitrary dating criteria that we put on our profiles, does any of that even matter when you get in the marriage? We're all working toward marriage, so how much of what we do now, what we're looking for now, actually plays into what we want in the future? We're almost sold out of the Feeling Blue collection. Shopping our merch is the easiest way to support what we do here at Dear Black Gay Men. You can visit dearblackgaymen.shop and use code her_Rakai for 15% off your first purchase. That's dearblackgaymen.shop. The link is in the description. Now, let's get into it. So often in dating, we focus on the superficial things and we miss what really matters. Tonight, I want to clear up the noise and have a conversation that centers the person. This is financial compatibility explained, and the show starts right now. What up, though? I am Jay the Gentleman. That's at JAI the Gentleman on IG and Facebook. And welcome to Thirsty Thursday right here on Dear Black Gay Men podcast. I am the guru of first dates, proudly. I will plan and execute amazing, thoughtful, and intriguing first dates, but relationships are way more than that. Tonight, I'm talking to someone who is in a successful marriage about how financial compatibility matters in a relationship, if it matters at all. So please welcome my good friend, Dwayne. Hey, Dwayne.
Yeah. Hey. Thanks for having me.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm unbelievable. How is life treating you? I always have these questions, but we be talking before the show starts, so I have to ask them again. How is life with you and Bay?
Things are great. My anytime somebody asks me how am I doing, my typical response is one day at a time. Like
one day at a time. Is that a good one day at a time? Have you had a good couple of one days?
Most definitely. Like the days, sometimes the days, because life be lifing. Yes. But I will say that there's more good days than bad days.
Spoken like a true minister. So my next question, of course, is totally inappropriate, though. But I got to ask, are you drinking anything with us tonight?
I always have a little libation. My libation of choice is the Tito's and cranberry. So absolutely. You never know what's in my cup.
I am very surprised that you are a light liquor drinker. I would have thought you would have climbed the brown tree by now.
I like climbing brown trees. However, when it comes to drinking, I'm going to stick to the lighter drinks.
All right. Well, I am definitely having a cocktail. I want to thank Bottles for being a continued sponsor of Thirsty Thursday and providing us deliciously crafted cocktails. To pick up your bottle cocktail, visit bottle.co and use our exclusive coupon code for 15% off and free shipping. Remember, for bottle cocktails, shake and pour over ice. Dwayne, are you ready for this conversation?
I'm as ready as I'm going to be.
All right, let's get into the episode.
All right.
All right, Dwayne, there's always a lot happening in the world of the girls, so I want to hear from everybody's opinions on some of the current events. Starting with one of my faves, there is an actor named Ncuti Gatwa. He's making history as the first Black, queer, and African-born lead to star in a Doctor Who series. We are seeing a lot of firsts in this season, in this dispensation of life. Is seeing first queer characters in TV, is that still remarkable to you, Dwayne?
First off, in the words of Keke Palmer, I don't know that man. I'm sorry to that man.
You don't know Ncuti Gatwa? Okay. I am a huge fan because I'm African.
Got it. Got it. Okay. What I will
And he got a
say
big
is
ass.
though,
It's
it
huge
the
and
cakes are
chocolatey.
caking.
They
Got it.
they he's got a quadruple layer cake, but
Oh,
going
okay
on.
then.
It's a
Okay then.
thing.
All
I'll
right.
send you a link.
All right. Sounds good. But what I will say to that question though is that yes, I definitely like to see us thrive.
Hmm.
I like to see people win, and so whenever I see somebody that's of our representation, I definitely like to see that continue to show up.
Like, are there spaces? Do you think that we need more of our representation, more firsts in culture?
For sure. I think that because of the way that society has been set up, it has created a lot of avenues for first for us. So I
Hmm.
think that we can become trailblazers and we can, get out there and continue to make things happen. And I think that society has kind of created an avenue for more of that to happen. So I think that it'll
Yeah, I
be,
think I absolutely agree, of course, and I think that somehow or another the girls, black gay men especially, and black trans people, they tend to create space for everybody else to enter. Because I can think
yeah,
of like DeRay McKesson in Black Lives Matter. He's became a nationally and internationally recognized activist because of the work that he's done. He is openly queer. Shuti
yeah,
Gatwa is from Sex Education and Doctor Who. He's an actor. Alex Newell is non-binary, wins is first person to win a Tony. Like there's so many great firsts that are happening now.
yeah,
And there's another first. She's not queer, but there was another first that was announced this week. So we ain't gonna talk about that one because it's Dear Black Alien.
period.
But there's a big something happening in culture
Yeah.
that I'm so excited about.
I'm
We'll
team
talk about that
black
later.
too. So, black,
I
gay,
am rooting for
absolutely.
everybody black.
Yeah, but team black.
I'm rooting for everybody black. Bet on black every time. Okay, the next one is Biden signs a bill that could potentially ban TikTok, and now TikTok says they are standing on business, which is an inside joke with me, Dwayne, and Aaron. I know that
Mhm.
folks have been able to scratch out a living and make content, but is it this a big deal in Black gay culture? Do you think the TikTok ban is a big deal for us?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think this will definitely impact a lot of social media influencers. I really, I haven't gotten into the TikTok thing. I only have a TikTok to monitor my son, who does have a TikTok. And
Okay.
people his age are really big on, TikToking, for lack of a better term there. But I will say that, to be honest, I
You
was
sound like
shocked
a
that this.
dad. You definitely
Yeah,
sound
I
like a
was shocked
dad.
that this passed though. Like that that the government cares more about this topic than more important topics. And I guess I'll leave that alone because that'll be a rabbit hole I don't want to go down.
I mean, that is definitely a rabbit hole, but it matters that the government is much more willing to ban TikTok under the auspices that China could be monitoring
Monitoring.
us,
Yeah.
even though we heard from the CEO of TikTok who is not Chinese, and all of the things, but we are policing women's bodies. We don't have universal health care. There are
Yeah.
people that are buried under student loans, but this is what the government decides to lend itself
Worried
to.
about the wrong things.
Worried about the wrong things. This is one
Yeah.
of those times where the government needs to stay in its lane, because the other problem that
Yeah.
I see as someone who does make a living on social media is
Yeah.
that you are killing a lot of small businesses.
For
There
sure.
are there are businesses that are built on TikTok, like
Yeah.
influencers and content creators,
Yeah.
but there are a lot of small businesses that are out there who figured out how to get back on their feet because
Yeah.
TikTok gave them exposure.
Yeah, I think about the food industry for sure, with one that was really impacted by restaurants and things like that. I
Yeah.
recently just tried a restaurant this Saturday because of a social media post. So I think to your point, that is really helping regenerate businesses and things like that for sure.
Especially the fact that we just got out of a pandemic. Like, people
Yeah,
still getting COVID, but we just got out of a pandemic where nobody was going anywhere. We didn't know how to navigate. And for a lot of us, TikTok was, helped us figure life out, the newfangled kind of life,
the newfangled kind of life. Yeah,
a
the work
newfangled
from
kind of life.
home social media era that we're in.
Yes. Now, this is one that I'm very curious about, only because I know you. Yet another plastic surgery company is coming under fire for botched surgeries that put patients at risk of death. different than the topic. How do you
Uh-huh.
feel about the boys getting the BBLs?
Well, first off, my pastor preached about BBLs this past Sunday, so that's you should
I
go
wish we could insert the clip right
listen.
here, but yes, but Pastor
But
preached about the BBLs and how they killing the girls. But go ahead.
I'm glad that you said, me, because I don't do nothing fake. I don't like nothing fake at all. I like the real natural. If you want a BBL, go on to the gym and do
Hmm.
some squats,
And then the thighs will match.
You see what I'm saying? It'll be the ratio, it'll be proportion, it'll look
Yes,
natural.
yes.
And so I wish people would stop doing this because social media has trained folks that that's what we want. We want that, but we want it the natural way. We don't want it to be lopsided and look like it was surgically attached.
But you know
All of that is a no for me.
the funny thing about that though, because I have seen a lot of plastic surgery that really did enhance who it was given to. Like I've
Yeah.
seen now this is a very like out of the box example, but Kelly Rowland
Mhm.
is very open about the fact that she had a boob job.
Yeah.
And she's not tremendously exaggerated. She feels a
Yeah.
lot better about herself. It works for
Yeah.
several.
Now I will
Like,
say that there are times too where plastic surgery is a necessity. Like if you were in a car accident or
yeah.
a serious accident where you needed to repair what was broken or get it back to what it was,
Yeah.
I'm happy for this type of industry because of those types of necessities.
But
But
ain't no
for people
BBL
who,
gonna be the doctor's orders, friend.
no,
Ain't no
they don't.
BBL gonna be the doctor's orders, especially when the thighs don't match.
Now there may be a breast reduction necessity. Some girls may be too blessed and they may need to get a reduction. They could be a doctor's.
Yes, I know several women who have gotten a breast reduction, but I'm
Yeah.
talking specifically about because dear black gay men. I'm
Hmm.
talking
Hmm.
about the girls. I don't know of.
Well,
I
the
honestly
girls,
don't
hold on,
know,
please. The girls is getting chest implants and fake abs and all of that too now.
but I don't
It
know
ain't just
any.
abs.
I don't know any one of us that is like, yes, I definitely want my man to have a unproportioned body,
Right.
so much so to where I can tell it's fake, and
Yeah.
B, there's all this upkeep. Like I don't know anybody who is like, I need my man to have a 28-inch waist, a 42-inch hips and ass. And like I don't know anybody who likes those proportions, but the girls be going after them because of like Nicki Minaj or Cardi B or some shit.
And especially to the point where you go and pay for it. Like you go pay to get it. Like that's also the count me out box.
Count me out, which
Yeah.
is why we're talking to you about financial compatibility.
Yeah. Count me into this conversation.
Okay, thank you. That was our current events. So first, there is a video. Hit it.
Who pays? Is it the top or the bottom?
Whoever wants to pay. Like if you say I'm taking you on a date, then I'm gonna pay. Or if you tell me you taking me on a date, then you're gonna pay.
Are you asking me on a date?
You wanna go on a date?
It's okay, we don't have to.
First off, Hopeless Romantic got a whole boyfriend right now, but I think maybe he don't got a boyfriend no more. But either way, Dwayne, because you are the one person on the show that has a man, answer
Okay.
this for us once and for all. Who pays the first date?
So for me, the first day is a bipartisan decision. I think that
Okay.
it should be a 50-50 split. And I think you should talk about that before you go on said date.
Okay.
That's
I agree. I agree.
that's my
I've gone on many a first date,
hmm
but I've done both.
hmm
But the two rules
You probably have done all of the above.
yes.
Knowing you've been paid for, paid, and 50-50. You know what I
I
mean?
see what you did there.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Sure.
But yes, I have. But either way, I make sure that we are clear on who's paying before we
Yeah.
ever go on this
Please
date.
have that conversation. And I think that a lot of us are scared of that conversation. But I think that that's one of the conversations that you should have is when you're on your way to a dinner. Like you should say what our financial setup is going to be for this dinner. And I think that that's a fair conversation. If somebody tries to say it's not, then it's probably not the person for you. I'll start there.
I agree that it's probably not the person for you, but also I think there's some validity to the people that are kind of squeamish about having, because that could be a tough conversation when you first meet somebody. You like them, they're cute on the app, you want to meet them, but you don't want to say something that's totally off-putting. And I think that for me is the reason why I've been sucked into just volunteering to I'll pay, because deep down inside I was like, I don't want to be like, let's cut it half down the middle and they think I'm a broke nigga.
Yeah, but for me,
I'm not, but I don't want people to think that.
Yeah, I hear that. And I think what we get caught up on is at the end of the day, when you're a male dating a male, you typically are expecting the male to show up in some type of way. That you know, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but that's
for
my
you.
opinion.
Is that regardless of sexual position? Like you're expecting a man to show up, whether they top, bottom, verse, this, that, or the other. You're expecting them to bring manly sensibilities into a dating situation.
Most definitely. And I hate to put like a gender norm on that type of stance, but for me, I feel like that as men, we have a sense of pride and dignity and things like that that kind of come along with our makeup. And so with that, when we show up, we want to show up in a way that doesn't take away from our ability to stand flat-footed.
I hear that. I want everybody to let me know in the comments, who do you think should pay for the first date? Is it the top? Is it the bottom? Is it position appropriate? Or is it something else? Let me know in the comments. Now, I'm very excited to get into. Dwayne, my guest, is a licensed minister who regularly can be seen every Sunday, two-stepping for Jesus. Watch this. Check this out.
Oh, Lord.
Look, Dwayne will get it in. And baby, when I tell you, he got a cute shout. He be in the pocket every Sunday.
Okay then.
In the pocket. So Dwayne, because you are a minister, not just because you be shouting, but because you are a minister, what does it mean, now that we're talking about financial compatibility, what does it mean to be equally yoked to you?
All right. So 2 Corinthians.
Oh, here we go. I got a button over here for this. Just know I got sound effects. So if you get too churchy,
I just got a scripture.
I'm a heathen it up for a moment. But go ahead.
Be ye not unequally yoked. And for me, what that's talking about is you want to be with someone who has like-minded goals, like-minded ideas, like-minded concepts.
Okay.
And so that way, when you're together, you're not going to be like oil and vinegar, and you're like separated. But you want to be, like something that can mix well together. You want to be able to mix it on in, as you got to mix and pop.
Okay. And so, not specific to your marriage, but you are a married man. I'm very, very single. Ain't never been close to marriage. And what I'm curious about is, now that you are 2 years in, you know a lot of the girls be out there talking about, I want 2.5. You coming up on 3. But you know, a lot of the girls, single girls, be like, I want a man with a crib, a car, and a job. I want all these requirements. And income usually is one of those, high up on the list. Does that even matter when you in a marriage?
So to that, what I would say is there's something to be said about wanting financial compatibility. The reality of that is that it's not going to always start out that way. And so I think what's okay is that as long as you have someone that is, willing to grow, willing to continue to push forward, then it's okay to accept somebody where they are now, knowing that in the future we will continue to progress in our career. And I say that because when I look back at my career, even 10 years ago until now, I was at one point making $19 an hour, and over time my salary got to where it's at, and it didn't happen overnight. It's not like I just
how far he brung you.
Yeah, look what he brought me from. Oh yes. So it's not always about where you are right now, but it's where you're going to be, and you can see the signs of that when you're dating, that someone is willing to grow or is moving in their career.
In your experience, what have those signs looked like? Because I really do think, because that really piqued my interest when you said you can see the signs, and I think people are saying income is a
Mhm.
sign of where you're trying to go in life. So you got to make a certain amount of money. But what do those signs look like? You
Yeah.
married guy, minister,
Yeah.
help me.
Yeah. Help the people. What I would say is you could be someone who is just at the time that you met them down on their luck.
Mhm.
And what they could be, maybe they just recently lost a job. So how would I see a sign in that person that this is somebody I could be with and it's not going to always stay unemployed, right? So a
Mhm.
sign would be you see them waking up early every day, filling out job applications. You see them, going out having interviews. You see them, when they're out, having a good time, they're networking and having conversations. Or do you know somebody that's hiring? You're ear hustling, listening to what their focuses are, because their focuses are, partying with their friends and hanging out, and they're not filling out job applications. It's probably a sign that this person
That
isn't
deserved a
moving,
little applause to me.
isn't moving in the right direction. And that's the
But
same thing.
but along those same lines, do you think that because I hear what you're saying, I hear
Mhm.
that the showing some sign, all these church all these church analogies, but I hear showing some signs could look a whole bunch of different ways.
A
But
lot of
I
ways.
do also hear a lot of people in our culture don't. They say that they gonna say they ain't got time for that, and to that your response would be what?
I would say that anyone that says that they don't have time to advance their career or to look for opportunities to grow them financially is someone who is not willing to grow. They don't want to grow. Like go ahead.
No, go finish. Go
No, I
ahead.
was
You
gonna
the
say
guest.
anytime I see anyone who is like stagnant or not growing, that's also a person who their goals and their ambitions, you don't see them actively putting those into work. You don't see them, like somebody can say, oh, I want to start a restaurant, but you don't see them in the kitchen cooking every day and practicing recipes and doing things to build that brand. And so I think that there's always signs of someone who is moving in the right direction if you just watch. Like another thing that I'll say is someone who can't hold a job more than 5 months, right? Or can't hold a job more than 3 months. And it could be because maybe they're in the wrong field or industry. Maybe that, they need to try to find that. But if they're trying to find that every 6 months, that may be a red flag.
Okay, heard, respect that. But I'm thinking more on the flip side. Let's say I am the person who is financially stable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that means.
Mm-hmm.
I think in our culture, there is this persistent notion that I don't have time to wait on you to get it together, that you should have it together by the time we meet so that we can be together.
Well, this is where it comes to being equally yoked, because if you have a real one, that person is going to be willing to help you once they see that, okay, I got all the green flags that they're doing all these things.
Okay.
Now let me use my resources to help them get on that page. Maybe I can be the one to network them, put them in rooms and conversations with other people. Maybe I can be the one to, help them fill out applications or update their resume. Like as the experienced one or the one that, has gotten to a certain level, now I can, utilize my experience to help them in their growth process.
Okay. Of course, I got more questions because
Of course you do.
This is gonna go in a whole different direction. It's gonna be a different periodically change in a minute, but I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so so later in the show, Dwayne is going to be answering your burning questions from the comments, but I want to hear from y'all now. Which do you think is more important, their salary or their ambition? Button ain't working. Let me know in the comments. If you know someone who needs to hear what we're spitting, I'm inviting you to be petty. Go ahead and send them this YouTube live or tag them in comments on Insta. This is Financial Compatibility Explained. We will be right back. Listen. Put this on. Y'all remember BGC? I had to run in here and get this out because y'all see my hair's a mess. I'm in my workout clothes, but I remember them days. It was a time when the girls were simple. The stories were lit. The DMs were not always open because half of us still had a dial-up connection and you actually had to meet people. Then there was a time before that when we ain't had the internet at all. I remember the chat line. For Thirsty Thursday on Dear Black Gay Men podcast, we're having a drink with Lamont while he helps me and the girls figure out how to get offline and get in love. Welcome back to Thirsty Thursday right here on Dear Black Gay Men podcast. Can you spot the warning signs of financial troubles in the people you date? Dwayne was just talking about the green flags and the red flags. It's time to cash in with our game of Sassy or Trashy. Hit it. Me and Dwayne are going to be discussing a few possible financial red flags as sassy or trashy. I want y'all to play along with us and let us know in the comments whether you think something is sassy, meaning good, green flag, or is it trashy, meaning bad, red flag. Dwayne, you ready for a game of sassy or trashy?
Let's go.
All right. The first one is this sassy or trashy? He has a strict budget. Is that that's sassy meaning a green flag or trashy meaning a red flag? Do we got banners for this?
I don't know, but that's me and I'm gonna say sassy.
You have a strict, but how strict is strict? Let me ask you that before I pass up.
Now, don't get me wrong. I like to have fun and, as you know, go on trips and whatnot. So I have a budget for that, right? I have a budget for, fun time. I have a budget for all my bills. I have a budget to save for a rainy day. So I think having a budget is a green flag.
I think the word that I'm getting stuck on is strict.
Very strict. Do you
ever splurge on anything? Or is everything always in the budget?
Everything is planned.
Everything is planned. Every single thing. You don't ever be like, oh, this TV look dope.
And if I do, I have real bad buyer's remorse. Like I feel so bad. Yeah.
Okay.
One thing I don't. I will say there's a caveat. Jordan.
Cause baby, you keep something on your feet now.
Yeah. That's the only. I never feel bad when I buy a pair of Jordans. Never do I.
Okay. So let me ask again, because we're talking about financial compatibility. Because you have a strict budget, are you looking also for someone else who has a strict budget?
No.
Well, I mean, you're married, but working.
Because my husband is the complete opposite of a strict budget. He likes to have a good time and spend the money. We gonna do it.
Okay, and so let me ask you this: when you found that out, did you consider that a red flag, or was that just something that y'all evolved to understand about each other?
Evolving to understand about each other.
Okay, so I mean,
it's a one day
evolution is always happening, so that's it. Yeah. That's good. Okay,
and he has helped me splurge a little more, and I'm helping him budget a little more.
And you know what that's called? Equally yoked.
Equally yoked.
Equally yoked. That should have been the thing in the graphics. But okay, the next one is they have a lot of designer goods. I really like sassy or trashy.
Trash. Throw it away. Trashy.
Why is that trashy? And the fun now, mind you, Aaron is behind here, and Aaron keeps a Marc Jacobs something. And
Aaron, I'll tell Aaron, stay out them stores. Stay out them stores, Aaron.
Okay, why is that a red flag to you? Why is that trashy?
So don't get me wrong. Like I said, y'all just heard me talk about Jordans, and those are $300 easy.
Yes,
depending on the hype about them too.
Yes.
What I will say is that having nice things is good. So don't get me wrong on the topic. However, if everything you wear has to be your shirt, your pants, your shoes, your bag, everything you got is a designer, you probably need to, reevaluate your inner self on why you need those things to make
reevaluate your inner self. I hear that.
Yeah.
Because even Beyonce shop at Target.
Do you hear what I'm saying? Listen, everything I have, from clothes to shoes, was bought on sale. Ain't nothing bought full price. Everything is clearing. Back to the budget. Back to the budget. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, so back to what you were saying in the last segment, though. Now there are red flags that I would imagine there are red flags that are like, nope, can't do that. And then there are other, let's all say a yellow flag that's like,
Yeah.
I can learn to understand this hopefully in time. Would you consider this a red flag trashy or a yellow flag trashy?
Yellow flag, because at the end of the day, that can be, as you all become in the relationship and you all grow together, they will see the value in themselves to say, oh, I really don't need that item as much as I thought I did.
Or they'll see the value in the relationship and have priorities might shift.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next one, he pays for everything. Sassy or trashy?
Can I be indifferent on this one?
Of course.
And I say somewhere in the middle, because there's something to be said about wanting to, take care of your significant other and keep your guy, happy. I think that's a good thing. At the same token, on the flip side, I think that if you feel like he has to do it every time and that doesn't satisfy you, then that's when it could become trashy.
What if it's the other way around, where it's not he has to do it? It's not you expect him to do it every time. It's he demands to do it every time.
Yeah, that's okay. Like if that's what he feels to, because sometimes some people are givers and some people feel rewarded or happy when they're giving and when they're being the one that demands to do it. And I think that can be a sassy trait, and the person that's receiving probably has zero complaints.
I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah, me. By the way,
I would. Let me go buy me some more shoes there.
You see, listen. Yeah, I'm back to budget now. You making room for my budget.
Okay. The next one is he uses Cash App for banking. Sassy or trashy?
Trash.
That silence spoke volumes.
Yeah, because what made me question this topic is only because I feel like I feel bad for those that's what they have. That's their starting point. So I don't want to degrade their starting point. A lot of people, we all have to start somewhere. And if that's your story, I don't want to bash anybody that's watching this clip. I don't want you to feel like, but you got to become a man and you got to become an adult, and you have to, establish real financial means, 401k, and get you a good Roth ROA, and go ahead and have multiple bank accounts. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Multiple bank accounts, so that way, So I will say I have money in my Cash App, just sitting off to the side. I have money in other places, because that way, my mom taught me this: you don't have all your eggs in one basket when it comes to money, huh? You have money everywhere, scattered about. Yeah.
Okay. Now this one for me is I consider it trashy, but here's my concern. My concern is this would be something I would uncover over time. Yeah. Like I could consider it trashy, but it's not a red flag to me, because in the beginning parts of dating, at least, I'd be curious about how you're spending your money rather than where you're keeping it.
I agree. Yeah, and that's why.
On top of that, but in addition to that, I couldn't give you insight or guidance or help or a conversation about what to do with your money until we have some level of trust. So it's I would think of it as a opportunity, but it's not something that I'd be in position to help you with until we get to that point in our relationship.
For sure. Yeah, you don't want to immediately start joining accounts. We
don't want to start joining accounts, and I don't want to nitpick on what he does with his money, because he could think he's doing it the right thing with it.
Yeah, but make sure you have that conversation as you continue to go, because you don't want to be saving by yourself. Save the game.
Don't want to be saving by yourself. Now, I'm with you when you're right. Okay, the last one says he doesn't tip wait staff at restaurants.
Trash.
Sassy or trashy?
Throw him away. Throw it away. Cancel him. It's an immediate no. And this one, I hope.
It's very interesting that you have a strict budget, but you tip well. I think those things are counterintuitive.
You reap what you sow, huh? You can't receive if you're not giving. You know.
I wish I had a button. I
Listen.
wish I had a button for something churchy. I wish I had something churchy.
Well, Jay, you go to a church, so I'm gonna need you to add a churchy button somewhere down up in there.
I wish I had a churchy button. Oh God, I don't have a churchy button.
Aaron, I know you listening. We need to get a churchy button in there. But anyway,
go ahead.
So yeah, like tip the wait staff, tip your nail tech, tip your makeup artist. I don't do makeup. The Lord's blessing.
I'm wearing a whole face right now because I'm on TV.
The Lord is kind to me, so no makeup. However, tip those people, because at the end of the day, they are doing a service unto you, and it's a disservice for you not to tip those folks. You know, they waiting on you. They're running around for you, and especially you Negroes that just asking for 52 condiments and 52 refills and 52 18 to 20%, kind sir and kind ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay. I mean, I don't have anything to say to that, because that I totally agree.
I could talk about that topic for 30 minutes.
I have worked as a waiter and in service industries, and
Me too.
Everybody should be somebody's waiter. Everybody, every single person should be somebody's waiter at some point in their life, because then you'd understand.
Once you do that job one time, you will realize why you should be tipping that person. I agree.
Work one 8-hour shift. That's all you need is one 8-hour shift, and it'll change the way you tip altogether, no matter what. Now, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to Applebee's, but I definitely appreciate my time there, so I can appreciate and respect service people.
I love those people. Yeah, thank God for them every day. Me too. I love them for real. They pull my drinks up every weekend. God bless you.
Okay, thank you so much for playing sassy or trashy with us, Dwayne. You can take that down here.
Wasn't as bad as I thought. Thank you.
Of course it wasn't. We have fun here. Okay, T-Bags, later in the show, Dwayne is going to be answering your burning questions, so make sure you're dropping them in the chat box. I want to hear from y'all now. How would you feel if someone you're dating asks you for money? Let me know in the comments. If this conversation is helping you step your cookies up in the dating game, like and share this YouTube live with a friend, or tag them in the comments on Insta. This is Financial Compatibility Explained. We'll be right back.
Did you know that there are more than 38.4 million people living with HIV globally? Or that 13% of people who have HIV in the US don't know it? Did you know that there are HIV vaccine clinical trials throughout the US to find a vaccine that can stop HIV? Or that they need volunteers? Learn more about how you can help at helpendhiv.org.
Welcome back to Thirsty Thursday right here on Dear Black Gay Men Podcast. Have we reached the crossroads of dating where our only options are Mr. Right or Mr. Broke? I know that people say love is blind, but nowhere do they say broke too, or that your man is that's your man and you sticking beside him. So, Dwayne, can a man meet your emotional needs if he can't meet his physiological needs?
Most definitely. And I think that he should. I think that you should have a well-rounded man. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Somebody who can, meet. Now there's some things that you have to, teach people how to treat you. right? So there's something to be said about that. But I also think that you have to meet emotionally more so than just trying to bam them away, and that ain't enough. Bam.
Well, let me ask you this. So, are you a romantic? Would you consider yourself a romantic?
I'm learning how to be a romantic. I will say that I was raised very from a strict, not a lot of love household. And I don't say not a lot because they loved me the best way that they could, or what they thought was appropriate. But it wasn't a lot of hugs and, you look handsome and it wasn't a lot of that. It was mainly clean your room and do your homework and get these A's and come go to church and sit your tail down. That's pretty much what I was raised with.
You're getting that now though.
And so
you are a very handsome person.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. You too. You're handsome.
I'm not flirting with you because I know your husband and he look like he can fight and I can't. So I'm not flirting with you. Yeah. But I'm just exchanging a compliment. But the reason I ask is because you have some very idealized responses. And I'm wondering, is that because you have a different vantage point because you're married and you know what it took to get there? Yeah. Or is that because you are just a romantic at heart and you love love? Like, help me understand how you're filtering these answers, because what you're saying is very different than what I would have expected.
So the truth of the matter is, if you talk to Dwayne now and then talk to Dwayne 10 years ago, completely two different people. Like, and I think we all say we grow and we evolve, but I really did like a 180 on a lot of my thoughts and stances and processes. And it took me a while to really, have my aha moments on, how to, treat my significant other, because there was one point in the previous marriage where, I thought that the way was, do everything I tell you to do, and this is what you got to do, and this is the way things got to be. And now I'm learning that, I don't always have to be in the driver's seat, that I can take the passenger seat at times and let go of the reins. And it took, my current marriage to teach me how to grow into that and to really let things go, and not hold on to things. And if you would have asked me this 5 years ago, it would be a completely different answer than what I'm giving today.
So what I'm hearing is marriage grew you up.
Most definitely grew me up.
Do you think, now I know the girls, you have just as many gay friends as I do. Do you think that our culture is such that single people understand the level of growth necessary to succeed in a marriage? Because I feel like people are really rigid.
Very rigid. And I think that what I hate to see, and this happens a lot in society, it's happening a lot in our culture for sure, is that people see, what's on social media and they see all of these different ideas of what a relationship, looks like, but then they don't realize and people say this all the time, you don't realize the work that it took to get there, but there's little work every day that goes into being into a relationship. Like, you really have to, it's not, and I don't want to say this and people take it the wrong way, when it comes to like your ways and, I'm going to be me and I'm going to do me and I'm not going to let the relationship change me. You should let the relationship change you. You should let, there's something to be said about meeting your partner halfway, because y'all are two people coming together. So y'all both have your own opinion. Y'all both have your own stances, but in a relationship, where does that connect? Where does, where do you start to compromise, in order for y'all to become one versus trying to stay two single people?
But the interesting thing about the girls, and I only say the girls because, I am gay, but we figure out
very gay.
You have the t-shirt actually, but we figure out ways to compromise so that we can maintain a whole bunch of things. We will figure out ways to compromise our time so we'll get a degree. We will compromise our spending so we can buy a house. We will compromise ourselves so we can keep a job. But for some reason, we don't figure out a way to evolve self to maintain a happy relationship. or get in a relationship at all. And I always wonder, why is that?
Because we're stuck on a culture of social media, people saying, don't let that relationship change you. Be you. Don't we get stuck. And there's something to be said about that. There's something to be said about don't lose yourself within a relationship. But there's also, the goal of the relationship is to become one, like for you all to walk together as one. And so if you're walking together as one, that means that you can't be still trying to do things by yourself and still that's your spouse doing their own thing. If y'all both are doing your own thing, then how are y'all one?
Okay. How did you learn that though? Because I was imagining that at some point you were just as single as all the rest of us. And so what
Outside.
lesson did you pick up?
Outside.
That's what old boy was saying last week. He was outside. But how did you pick up these lessons that allowed you to find a man in the pandemic and stay happily married this long that leaves me single? Or am I just barking up the wrong tree?
I will say that,
because you know I'm fine. You know I'm fine.
Period. My friend is fine. And I support, and you're single for a whole nother reason that we won't talk about on this show. We'll find another show to talk about that topic.
But because you know me too well. But okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know you. But what I will say though is that when it comes to, it's not barking up the wrong tree. It's not, what do I do to win somebody over per se. When you're working on being in a relationship with someone, and that's the common goal. So what some people know this, me and my husband, we didn't do a lot of dating. We literally said, we were two individuals who said, we just gonna do this. And we got married and here we are. Love, I don't think that you fall. I don't think that
he was saying something so good. Go ahead, keep going.
I froze. Can you hear me?
Froze a little bit, but last thing I heard was we are two individuals that said we just gonna do this.
Yes, we're two. We jumped in. We said we're two individuals that are going to do this. And the truth of the matter is, you don't want to. You want to walk together, right? And if you're walking together, you don't fall out of love, or you don't fall in love. And I think love is an action that you actually have to walk together with. Like you have to, when I say one day at a time, you literally have to wake up with intention and say, I'm going to work on love today. I'm going to walk in love today. And I'm going to be intentional about the way that I walk in love. And when you are authentically doing that, you are literally putting yourself in a position to where you're setting yourself up to make this relationship successful.
I said that to somebody. I said something very similar. We were not married, but I said, one day, just randomly pillow talk, he was like, well, what is our relationship to you? And I said, to me, our relationship is, I'm going to be with you today and do it again tomorrow. That's all I got. I don't have anything deeper or bigger than that. I am going to be the best Jay with you I can be today, this 24 hours. And I'm going to wake up again tomorrow and make the same decision. That's the only thing I can commit to.
And I think
he said, you don't want to be with me forever. He made a thing of it. So needless to say.
And I can see, I can see how that would have went left. But another thing I'll say is what I heard someone say, or a piece of advice that I was given, actually in a therapy session. That's my therapy plug. I recommend therapy.
Because therapy works.
Therapy works. In a therapy session, someone told me to stop worrying about winning the argument and instead win the person. And when you do that, you are not focused on being right or wrong. You're focusing on how can I get this person to us to get on the same page about this topic. And when you're focused on getting on the same page about the topic, then at that point, you're no longer focused on right or wrong, but you're focused on the person.
That was so good. That deserves an air horn. That was so good. Dwayne, that was really good. We had to take a break, but that was really good. You smart as shit. You smart as shit. Okay, T-Bays, this is a touchy subject, and I know y'all got some thoughts. So drop your questions in the comments, and we'll be answering them right after the break. I want you to let us know your burning questions for Dwayne, and we will be right back.
Get in the conversation.
This comment says, I did a good job. It's time for a congratulatory ejaculation session.
Chat live on the show and get exclusive content.
The bottoms are going to eat me up for this in the chat.
Join the Dear Black Gay Men Insiders group on Facebook.
All right, teammates. Welcome back to Thirsty Thursday right here on Dear Black Gay Men Podcast. This is our new segment that we are calling Burning Questions, where we get to hear directly from you, our audience, our viewers, the people that are in the conversation with us. We got one from YouTube. You're going to put up the stuff? Beautiful. This is a question that came into my inbox. Check this out, Dwayne. He says, Chris writes from YouTube. He says, hey, dear Jay and Dwayne, I'm single and I want to date, but I'm scared that in Atlanta, I'll meet a dusty boy on the come up or someone not as gainfully as employed as I am. I don't want to be superficial and I do want a man, but I'm nervous. When I find a guy, should I focus on the criteria or the person? What you say?
To that, I say kind of what I've been talking about tonight. Is focus definitely on the person. Look for those green flags that this person has goals and that they're driven and that, they're, actively working on them every day. And you see some sign of that every day. Okay. And I say that you'll see the signs because, you're going on dates or you're having conversations. And when you're hitting your WYD, text message, the response
WYD text message, that mean he just want to fuck.
Yeah, but also depending on the time of the day. So if you WYD at 11 o'clock at night, versus WYD at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you should get a different response, right? And actually that go your flags right there. You see what you're getting. But if you have, for example, if you have an unemployed person that you're dating, them WYDs, I'm filling out an application. I'm gonna wait to an interview. I got a call at this time. Like that's what you should be hearing. Or if you have somebody that is employed, I'm working, or I got this meeting I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. So you'll see those signs of somebody that's driven and moving in the right direction.
One thing I keep hearing you say that now you haven't said it, but I keep hearing the kind of the remnants of it. Is you got to be patient with the person that you're dating. Who they are today, from what you're telling me, who they are today, who you meet is not who you're going to be married to 20 years from now. And if, for instance, you want to be with someone, it sounds like you're saying, Dwayne, you got to be in it for the long haul. And that's going to involve some ups and downs, financial or otherwise. And and I think that not enough of us date with the idea that I'm going to be with him during the down times as well as the up times. A lot of us date with this idea that he needs to be perfect as he is now, and
rainbows and sunshine.
That's all that's going to be.
Yeah.
And it would be great if that were true, but we all got bad days, we all have bad seasons, we all have a whole bunch of things. But I don't think a lot of us do date with the idea that this time next year he will be better. This time next year things will shift. And can I last until next year? Can I last till 5 years from now? Can I last through this season? Yeah.
What's funny is, as you were saying that, I hear K. Michelle, evangelist K. Michelle in my ear. And I can hear her saying that the song Can't Raise a Man. And I think back to the society misconcepts of focusing on, raising a man. I think there's something said, though, about, to your point, being patient with a man and, seeing that, all of us have a starting point. No one has ever just woke up and become a millionaire. And so with that being said, you have to be able to weather the storms and the seasons. And know that there will be bad days that will come with those good days. And so I definitely challenge everyone in their dating life to put those tough questions out there, kind of field those questions and see, if you're getting the answers that you would like to see. But with those answers that you're getting, also be mindful that, maybe, they're at a point of A and they're working on getting to B.
So let me ask you a different question, because as you said, can't raise a man. I have something. You can't raise a man, but do you have to raise a husband?
Most definitely.
What does
And
that help give
and
from
I,
the inside of a marriage? What does that look like? Raising, because I agree, you can't raise a man he should be raised. You
yeah,
cannot help a man develop self-sufficiency,
yeah.
but you can raise a husband from what you're telling me. But what does that look like? What
And
is
I
the
know,
work that I'm signing up for when I say I want to be in a
yeah,
relationship?
that's really the verbiage. I wouldn't say, raise a husband, but what I would say is grow a marriage. And you grow a marriage by you grow a marriage by putting in the work and putting in the time and being patient. And again, two people working together to achieve a common goal. And so if that common goal is, well, I want to better my career by doing X, Y, and Z, how can you help me get there? And vice versa to the other person, I want to grow my career, how can you help me get there? And having conversations like that, I think, is what puts people in better situations within a relationship, and being honest when y'all are having those conversations.
Dwayne, this has been eye-opening for me. And I don't know if you intended for it to be. Maybe I need to get me some more married friends. Y'all married vibes will rub off on me, and I'll find my man.
Rubber
My
box,
man,
Lord.
my
Do it,
man.
Lord.
Do it, Lord. Do it, Lord. Eric, you can take all of that down. Okay, so teammates, if you want to join the stream and ask your burning questions, you can follow me at JAI the Gentleman on IG, or join our broadcast channel, or join the Dear Black Gay Men Insiders group. Link to both of those are in the description. Dwayne, we will be right back right after this break. What is stigma? I truly believe that it comes up when you think something can't happen to you. Like when we think we could never be femme, so we end up with femphobia laced all up and through our dating profiles. Or when we don't be out there like that, so we slut shame people for doing openly what we try to sneak and do privately. But there aren't too many spaces where stigma rises to a criminal level like it does with HIV.
Knowingly gave her HIV and never told her he was infected.
We're talking to 4 black men from across the country, all living with HIV. I want to see how stigma comes up in their lives and what we can all do to overcome it. Hey teammates, I would like to thank my guest Dwayne. You can connect with him on IG. Links to his socials are in the description. For our guest who asked our burning question, you just want our black on black hat and hoodie set. To claim your prize, DM us on IG at Dear Black Gay Men. And for everyone else to shop our channel, to shop our merch and support the channel, you can visit dearblackgaymen.shop. That is dearblackgaymen.shop. People really don't like pushback, and we don't like evolution, as Dwayne has explained to us. We seek out spaces where we'll get the least amount of critique or commentary. Tops, they talk about dick with other tops. Men will discuss and legislate women's bodies among men in Congress, and you will take your dating advice from some TikToker who probably ain't got no man, because his fucked up advice sounds good in our single ears. And we do this because good counsel, like what Dwayne has given us today, it takes work. That is, when you know better, you have a responsibility to do better. Like when a trusted friend tells you that your peace should be your priority, or you need to go to therapy. Or when the gay dating coach, when Lamont White told me that I needed to change my dating ways. Or when my married friend gives me good counsel on how he found a fulfilling husband. I have a responsibility to see better so that I can know better and I can do better. So, dear Black gay men, take responsibility. That was our show. I am Jay the Gentleman. That's at JAI the Gentleman on IG and Facebook. If you want to support Dear Black Gay Men podcast, the easiest way is to pick up our Dear Black Gay Men hat or hoodie. You can shop now at dearblackgaymen.shop. I am Jay the Gentleman. This has been Dear Black Gay Men podcast, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.